and subscribe. Black Desert Online and monetization. To most players, these two go together like chocolate and peanut butter. The truth is, however, much more nuanced and predatory than most players realize initially. Guys, I promise you, this isn't a hate video. I love BDO, and I truly believe this game could be the best MMO in the world if Pearl Abyss took veteran player thoughts into serious consideration. That's why I'm making this video today. I'm not just going to bring up the problem, but I also intend to discuss a well thought out solution that I believe benefits everybody. Before I get into the details of Black Desert Online's monetization, we're going to talk about some definitions so that we have a shared understanding of the topics I'll be discussing ahead of time. Pay to win is a scale. This scale is divided into three major partitions: pay for cosmetics, pay for convenience, and then finally the most egregious, which is pay for power. Let's start with the first one on the scale, I should say, which is pay for cosmetics. This has the lowest impact. What it means is that players spend money only to change how their character or weapon or interface looks. Some examples of this would be like, in most games, skins, emotes, costumes, mounts, visual effects. The impact on gameplay is none. Everyone plays on equal footing. Paying just makes you look cooler. You're paying to look stylish, not to gain an advantage. In BDO specifically, this manifests as buying outfits to wear, paying for a Merv's dye palette. Most people just run a value pack, or buying permanent dyes, buying pets because you like the way they look, for horses because you think they look neat. Moving down the pay to win scale towards the middle, we have things that are considered pay for convenience. This is a moderate impact on the game. What it means is that players can spend money to save time, reduce their grind, or speed up progression. Some examples of that would be like XP boosters, larger inventory spaces, faster crafting or resource gathering, or just skipping wait timers in general. It has an indirect advantage impact on gameplay. Paying doesn't make you stronger outright, but it helps you get stronger faster. Non-paying players can still reach the same power level, it just takes longer. So how you explain it would be like maybe you're paying to skip the boring parts. This is where BDO lives the most. Paying pearls to skip worker promotions or crafting times, skipping horse breed timers, upgrading your pets or higher tiers, selling weight and inventory increases that do not affect your entire account, but rather the individual characters, and selling things like bank inventory slot increases. Lastly, we'll move down to the most detrimental portion of the scale, which is paying for power. This has the highest impact on the game. This is true pay to win. What it means is players can buy items, stats, or abilities that directly increase their strength in ways that non-paying players cannot match. Some examples would be things like where you can buy stronger weapons or armor, stat boosts, exclusive characters or abilities, paid loot boxes that contain certain power upgrades, and its impact on gameplay becomes a direct advantage. Paying players become objectively stronger, often dominating competitive modes. Non-paying players may be unable to compete fairly. You're paying to get stronger than other players, directly. Buying outfits falls into all three of these categories on some level with BDO. If I try to list all these out, this video will probably be an hour longer at least, and I'll still probably miss a few things, so we're not going to do that today. Why this scale matters though? It helps people understand that not all monetization is harmful. Cosmetics are harmless. Convenience is debatable. But power is where fairness completely breaks down. This framework allows new players to evaluate new games quickly. They ask themselves, where on the scale does this game sit? How comfortable am I with that? The reason it's a scale and not just three separate categories is simply this. Developers can opt to go into all in one category. They can choose to go into part of multiple categories, or they can go in all three categories depending on how aggressively they want to monetize their players. Black Desert Online often double dips into multiple categories. For example, buying a costume to wear falls under the cosmetic category, but buying a costume to turn into cronstones falls under the pay for power category. There's several other unclear examples of this, sometimes leading to what I can call hidden predatory monetization. The most egregious example of hidden predatory monetization in BDO is this: buying pets because they look cute versus buying pets to raise them into several tier 4 pets or a tier 5 pet. I'm going to go into detail on this one. So manually looting in BDO is possible, but it is not tenable. When you're clearing giant mob packs, you can't loot everything and maintain a clear speed that is even remotely reasonable. This means you basically require pets to fight mobs and gain loot effectively. Without them, you gain loot slower and thus stunt your progression substantially at the most basic level. With them, your pets will loot for you at a set speed or rate. If you're clearing too many mobs in a single area, they won't pick up all the loot before you move on to the next pack. If you're clearing too many mobs too quickly, they won't pick up all the loot, and some of it will expire on the ground. This means that pets are more than just cute companions. When Black Desert Online first released, they only allowed you to have 3 pets. The highest pet tier was tier 3. They then allowed you to raise their aggression so they loot faster, which consumed more in-game resources. As they released new monster zones with larger packs, with gear progression and power creep, it allowed for higher clear rates. They added a 4th tier for pets, and they allowed you to summon 4 pets at a time. Some time passed, and over time this once again proved inadequate. They solved this artificial problem they created by allowing players to summon up to 5 pets. Even that was too slow, so they then introduced a concept of a pet leader, or the tier 5 pet. This improves the speed of all your other pets. Since higher tier pets allow you to loot mobs you are clearing more quickly, if you are higher geared, you're compelled to have the highest tiers of pets available to you at all times. This could have easily been solved with the concept of vacuum loot being attached to a single pet. Black Desert Online won't do that for you. In addition to this, some pets have specific bonuses that offer you perks for different types of content. Some improve your drop rate, while some double the items you receive from gathering type life skills, or some allow you to do things like AFK fish faster. These additional bonuses improve as your pet tier goes up. On average, a single pet costs around 1,000 pearls, or $10. The pearl conversion ratio is something like 100 pearls is $1. If you're following a guide and using the strategy that somebody has outlined for you without making a mistake, the average quantity of pets it's going to take you to get a single pet to tier 4 from 1 is about 10 pets. So for $100, you can get 1 of 5 tier 4 pets. The average player will pay $500 in functional pets to perform at optimal efficiency. And that's only if you want 5. If you have pets for different specializations and you're trying to raise their tier, that's about $100 per pet. Do you absolutely require all your pets to be at tier 4? In short, the answer is, well, no, but actually yes. It doesn't end there. There's about 1,000 other ways that BDO has these sort of hidden practices in their game. Things like crystal break protection, fairy tier upgrades, fairy growth upgrade materials, tent and tent buffs, transaction mates, storage mates, weight increases, character inventory slot upgrades, family inventory slot upgrades and weight upgrades, tiers of Elion, megaphones, character slot upgrades, costume specific buffs such as hunting, cooking, training, or any other life skill costume benefit that only works on that specific character that they're redeemed on. Things like Nader's bands, which let you use more fail stacks, ship skins with bonuses, mount costume bonuses, mix and match doesn't work so it all has to be the same type, mount skill changes, mount level down coupons, mount reset coupons, horse appearance change coupons, horse whistles and celestial whistle upgrades, Krogdalo feathers, skill preset coupons, sailor preset coupons, artifact preset increases, artifact inventory increases, crystal preset increases, crystal inventory slot upgrade increases, farming fences, seasonal character tickets, artisan memories, Morko's gear bags, Marnie process fuels, emojis, dances, fitness, breath, strength, health exchange coupons, life skill exchange coupons, branding stones, crystal extractions, pet preset expansions, attendant appearance change coupons. There are also upgrades that only work for specific regions, such as storage upgrades that increase your storage slots on a per region basis, wharf and mount expansion coupons that only work on each storage that it's attached to. So it only works for example, one town's wharf or stable, not all of them. Could just have one that increases the slots for all of them, but they don't do that. Worker housing upgrades that work per region per town. Character-specific upgrades are even more cleverly disguised, since they release new classes almost twice a year. At the time of this video, the game has 31 classes compared to its original launch roster of 7 classes 10 years ago. I could break each of these down and explain how one aspect of the game or its monetization plays into the other the same way I did for pets, but again, this video would be several hours longer. Today's video doesn't take aim at all of that other stuff. It does, however, take aim to solve BDO's most upfront and basic monetization problem. Black Desert Online is the only game I've ever played that has every subscription model imaginable in their game. The game has not one, not two, but 3 subscription models. It's not even a free-to-play game. It's a buy-to-play game. So let's get into these and talk about them a little bit. The first subscription model is your value pack. This subscription costs $15 a month, and it gives you a number of increases that aren't necessary, but are still pretty essential to your enjoyment of the game. The benefits range from cosmetic through convenience, all the way to power. The cosmetic benefits include unlimited customization and dye options. The convenient benefits include things like weight and inventory slot increases, item collection scrolls, barter refresh and parlay points for sailors, distant node investment options and uninvestment options. And then you have the power benefits that are things like a 30% increase in combat and life skill experience, 30% increase to silver collection from the marketplace, which is this game's version of the auction house. The second subscription model is the Blessing of Kamasilv. This model costs $12.50 every 15 days, which means it's $25 a month. This one falls right in between the convenience and power categories in the pay-to-win scale. Convenience benefits being things like increasing your transaction and storage made volume limits, storage and transport limitations, and it's on the lower scale of power, and where your drop rate for rare and desirable items is increased by 20%. The third subscription model of this game is your Secret Book of Old Moon. This is also $12.50 every 15 days, so another $25 a month subscription. This one also falls into the convenience and power categories, offering you benefits like resetting your skills freely, changing your skill presets from anywhere, buying your villa scrolls through your premium tent, which is another pay-to-win aspect of the game, and direct power in the form of increasing combat life and skill experience gains by 100%. On top of that, it has 3 completely separate battle passes. The Daily Special Pass that costs $35, which gives you an additional track of rewards for just logging in. The Black Spirit Pass that costs $30, which gives you an additional reward track for completing specific milestones within seasonal content. Then there's the rotation of unique passes, such as the one introduced during the Arena of Solare that costed $19, and it gives you additional participation rewards for the Arena of Solare. BDO is going about this basic monetization in a way that makes it much less accessible for the average player. This means that fewer people are going to try and buy into them, which means that the pay-to-win scale is shifting upwards towards the people that do or will buy into them. All of this put together makes Black Desert Online one of, if not the most, monetarily predatory MMORPGs in the market. The only reason that people continue to play this game is because a competitor hasn't shown up to beat them in the realm of best combat and the most content for it. This isn't even debatable, really. It's just a fact that, as a longtime Black Desert Online player, I really hate. It wasn't always like this. Things just continue to pile up over time until it's become what it is today. Pluribus, you are monetizing Black Desert Online far too heavily. It turns away new players, and veteran players straight up refuse to participate in it. There's a better way. I do not want people describing my game as one of the most vicious and ruthlessly monetized games in the MMO space. I want them to think, wait a second, Pluribus is actually offering players a really cool value. I want them to walk away from their purchase feeling that they got something worthwhile instead of feeling like they paid for the privilege to be mugged.
You ever heard the saying, you need to spend money to make money?
Who's saying that?
Doesn't matter who, they're rich. That's what matters. So, here's what I'm thinking. We put our savings into this trap, and then the adventurer runs along, stops, lured in by our smart business ideologies, and then we mug them.
Here's what actually happens when a player feels like they've been lured in by a greedy company's trap.
No, wait. Oh.
I've been looking into how subscriptions and battle passes are handled across all gaming categories, and honestly, the best subscription model that I've ever found, and I hate to say it, is Fortnite's. In Fortnite, Their subscription grants you access to a reward track that gives you new skins, costumes, emotes, sprays, mounts, etc. The subscription costs you $12.50, and you earn 20% of your purchase back to use as a cash currency in their store. This means every 5 months, you get 1 month for free. That's a pretty solid loyalty system right there. You could also just straight up use it to buy more of their V-Bucks, which is their in-game currency. It's like their version of Pearls. When you buy the subscription, you are immediately given $10 in V-Bucks. To the player, they spend $12.50 and gain $10 back immediately. But to Epic, who produces Fortnite, the player spent $12.50 and they gained a fictional digital currency that costs absolutely nothing for them to give. To progress their battle pass, the player just needs to play the game and gain experience. Once they've completed a pass, a bonus tier unlocks where players can then choose to do the extra unlocks to gain some digital currency back. And they also get additional bonuses. Fortnite is one of the most profitable games of all time, and no one walks away from the game feeling like their subscriptions robbed them. Perlibus, you can learn from this. Learning from this will change the way people perceive your game, and players would actually want to give you money rather than zipping up their pocketbooks because they know you're a greedy little goblin out to get their valuable shekels. Now, with all that setup out of the way, here's what I'm recommending. Keep all the other items on your Pearl shop as it is, except for your 3 subscription models and your battle passes. Get rid of them immediately. Instead, roll all the existing benefits of those items into a single purchase and just call it the True Value Pack. And then you sell that for $15 for 30 days. In your True Value Pack, you offer these additional perks. Players earn 1,000 pearls, a $10 value, immediately back for the purchase. Perlibus gains 15 bucks, and at no cost to Perlibus, the player gains 1,000 pearls. Change your battle pass format. Change your format for your battle passes. When purchasing the True Value Pack, you can unlock one of 3 different battle passes. Battle Pass 1, PvP Track. Battle Pass 2, PvE Track. And then Battle Pass 3 with a Lifeskill Track. You can pay an additional $5 a month to unlock the additional tracks, but you can only make progress in one at a time. Once you complete the Battle Pass's basic requirements, you unlock the quote-unquote bonus tier, which offers specific goals to complete for bonus pearls. Only completable after the basic Battle Pass has been fulfilled. You can only complete 1 bonus tier per month, so the player has to choose wisely. You would then pay that extra $5 to jump to a different bonus tier. Here's how this could look. Mind you, these are just ideas and not things set in stone. If you have additional ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments. This is how the PvP track could work. This track would offer you generic milestones and then rewards for killing players in any form of content. Each tier unlocks for every 50 players you kill. You earn items like buffs, consumables at the lower tiers that are used in PvP, such as Villa buffs and human harmonies that last 10 hours instead of the normal duration. And at the higher tiers, you earn items that give you a rotating roster of costumes every month, an emote, a dance, something like that. This would have 10 tiers of rewards, so players are encouraged to engage in player killing up to 500 times for that month to get to that last tier. The bonus tier in this track could have milestones that are a lot more specific. Say, 5 specific milestones. Kill 50 players in AOS. Kill 50 players in RBF. Kill 50 players in Node War or Blue Battlefield. Kill 100 players on Arsha. Kill 100 players on Anonymous Arsha. Each of these tiers could offer you a bonus that would offer you 100 pearls as a reward or bounty, giving the player the 500 additional pearls for completing it over the course of that month, which would recoup the full cost of their value pack in the digital currency. This would also make PvP feel natural, rewarding, and bring organic gameplay back with something tangible to achieve. It also activates less favorable game modes, such as RBF, since players are now seeking to do that content for their reward tracks. I can just see it now where you have like rows of guilds that are now like plotting GVGs against each other on Arsha, or are trying to participate in Guild League because they want to get those player kills, or are trying to just do something that gets them out in the world and fighting players on any of the PvP servers just to fulfill reward tracks. I know a lot of people will be concerned about like it being a little bit cheesy, like, oh, you know, somebody's just going to kill the same player 100 times. Who cares? Let them. Doesn't matter. because then there's enough people who are going to want to engage in that content legitimately that will keep it fun. In the PvE track, you could reward players per 1,000 mobs they kill. It could offer drop rate buffs, Agris recharges, Agris coins, etc. as their rewards. The bonus tier for this reward track could be something like kill 2,000 mobs in Kama Sylvia, or kill 2,000 mobs in Ulukita, or Edania, or Adraxia. Right? And then you could also have different rotating objectives like kill 20 world bosses or kill 20 field bosses that change month to month. Each milestone in the bonus track gives 100 pearls as a reward, mirroring the rewards offered in the other battle pass tracks. The Lifeskill reward track would reward players for completing every 1,000 crafts, all the way up to the 10th tier, and then offer bonuses for gathering or cooking or something to that effect. The bonus tier could include things like hunt 5 whales, or turn in 2,000 cooking boxes to the Imperial crafting, or catch 20 horses, something that would make the player engage in the same game actively, giving them the purpose, motivation to continue playing. The bonus tiers being unlockable for multiple tracks at 500 pearls returns the value to the player as long as they have the time or dedication to complete them. Once that's done, the player will now take their 1,500 pearls and put it towards any of the tens of thousands of pearl items needed in the cash shop. Players will feel like they're truly earning something for their subscription to the game, and it wouldn't feel like an insurmountable paywall. They'll come back month after month to complete their battle passes and work towards whatever item they're seeking next. Less patient players will simply buy the pearls they need to finish up their purchases. By doing this, you've made your game far more accessible to newcomers, a better overall value to all players, and instead of selling maybe like 2,000 subscriptions to 2,000 people, you're now selling to 20,000 people, while making your game much more fun and worth playing. As word of that spreads, people will come to your game and stay there. Giving these pearls with purchases costs Pearl Abyss nothing, and gets them away from predatory monetization practices that plague this game. People can focus more on the fun of the game rather than its expense. All right, we've made it to the end, souls. I've said a lot, and I want to hear from your thoughts in the comments. I check every comment and I respond to everyone if it merits a response. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me. And if you liked what I had to say, do me a huge favor and just like the video, share it with your friends, and get the word out there on it. If we bang this drum loud enough, we can start to affect change. If you want to hear more from me, I upload shorts literally every day, so subscribe to the channel. Thanks once again, guys, and I'll see you on my next adventure. The irony of this part is not lost on me, but currently they're doing a promotion in Black Desert Online for partners. So if you use code Zeroden at checkout, I actually get a percentage of that, so it actually really supports me. So if you would use code Zeroden when you're buying your pearls at checkout, unfortunately, doesn't work for Steam users. I have no idea why. I'm not Pearl Abyss. I don't come up with those decisions. But yes, just use code Zeroden at checkout, and yeah, help me out. Thanks, guys.
Let's do it.
The word out of there. Passes such as the one. Sorry. Specific milestones. Horse in new characters, or for rare item. Sorry. Mother flip. Value packs. Battle passes. Battle passes. You are compelled to have at least at the highest. Make their subscriptions. What's a subscription? What am I, drunk? Ideas. Only completable. Because you're fighting for them. The progress, their battle pass, under the cosmetic category. And it would feel like an insurmountable paywall. Would feel? Don't you mean it wouldn't feel? Of item, God dang it. Items. No. The bonus tiers being unlockable after